Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul, and in this TrickGameTiddlecom video we're going to be going through an interview I had with AMD's Robert Hallock concerning their Ryzen range of processors. Now, I am going to have to read out Robert's answers myself because he's been very busy, therefore he's had to answer the email over a series of days, but I am going to put his answers also on screen so you can get his verbatim responses. But without further ado, let's go into this, shall we? Question. Can you confirm that there will indeed be multiple Ryzen CPUs available at launch, so not just the 8-core 16-thread models, and it will not just be a paper launch? He responds, there will be more than one Ryzen SKU available at launch. This is all I can say for now. I then ask, if you or AMD could list 3 things you're proudest of with the creation of Ryzen, what would they be? He responds, I'm a huge fan of our ITX-specific X300 chipsets for Ryzen. Since the Ryzen processor is technically a SoC, it already has enough built-in PCIe Gen 3 lanes and I/O controllers to support USB 3.1 10 Gbps times 4 NVMe and SATA drives. That's basically everything you could want in a tiny system. That means Ryzen doesn't also need an I/O chipset on the ITX board. This saves area that would normally need to be on the route to extra connections that the chipset provides. X300 chipset is a tiny pinky fingernail-sized chip that facilitates secure boot, TPM, and other security-related features. That's X300. X300 is connected back to the CPU with a dedicated link, freeing up 4 more PCIe lanes, now a total of 28, on X300-based motherboards for things like Wi-Fi cards, Gig-E, and other companion chips common in the ITX form factor. I think X300 is great, and so for our fans who have asked us to facilitate more ITX solutions in the market. I'm very proud, this is the second part of the answer, to work for a company that unlocks all of its processors. We've been doing that for a long time with the Black Edition and K chips, and it's back with Ryzen. All Ryzen processors are unlocked, so overclocking X300, B350 and X370 chips. I know gamers have grown quite weary of being deliberately funneled towards a very small selection of overclockable chips with the other guy. I wouldn't know who the other guy is, and I know that not every user needs the highest end processors. Ryzen can be the answer. And 3, while I cannot disclose performance or power efficiency figures, I do want to say that what I feel in my heart as a gamer, a PC enthusiast, I feel that Ryzen is what it needs to be. The internet hype train moves very quickly and also has a lot of passengers. So I don't want to be in a position where I've overpromised anything, but I truly believe that Ryzen is the competitive processor that people have been hoping for. And I think our aggressive approach to marketing, example, unlocking all of them, up to 8-core 16 threads at 95 watts TDP, ITX-specific chipsets with Ryzen will be a welcome relief to many, and this is why we've got the text on screen. I asked Robert if he could confirm that some of the rumours that the chip is running at 3.9 GHz turbo at CES 2017 and 4 GHz for the final revision silicon, and he says, I have also noted as we have noted during our New Horizon event, our base clock speed for 8-core 16-thread 95 watt will be at least 3.4 GHz. I cannot disclose more at this time, end quote. So the next one I asked, can you explain the basic synopsis of how both neural net prediction and smart prefetch works and their importance in Ryzen? He begins, Smart prefetch. Applications have a lot of data associated with them, and I don't mean sound files, character models and textures. The application's underlying code base is a type of data, plus that code can generate new types of data while running. This type of data has discernible patterns because humans wrote both the programming language and the code, and humans are creatures of habit. Ryzen's sophisticated algorithms learn the patterns of the code and begin to predict what data will be needed in the future, then preemptively bring that data into the caches of the chip. Retaining that data in cache makes it immediately available for execution when needed, eliminating a possible source of latency penalties. Neural net prediction, he says, this is super nerdy level exciting to me, oh man. Inside the Zen architecture is an actual AI neural network that is learning and predicting what instructions inside the CPU will be required. This learning AI also is predictive, just like smart prefetch, but instead of predicting data, NMP is concerned with knowing what instructions and pathways inside the chip will be needed for executing an application. Staying on top of how an application can best flow through the chip also neutralizes a potential source of latency penalties.
Right away.
Together, neural net prediction and smart prefetch represent a pretty big chunk of the 40% IPC we've previously cited. I then ask a follow-up to this, can you also hint how Ryzen learns the application? Like, does it remember what you've learned if you leave the application in the background? Say you go back to it after a couple of hours of web surfing. He responds, the buffer for pattern learning is not megabytes big or anything, so it's not room for remember hours or days of history. The buffer is typically flushed when you move from one app to the next, or, of course, when the system is restarted. That would manifest as a game or a benchmark being slightly faster on the second run through, as it now has its patterns and behaviours learned. It's important for users to know that neither Smart Prefetch nor neural net predictions have any knowledge of what you are doing, or how it is being done by the application. A useful analogy might be, we've designed a better pencil by watching how you write, but we've never looked at the paper to see what you've written. End quote. I then asked, most of our users are interested in Ryzen for overclocking, can you give information on how both pure power and precision boost? For example, if the CPU runs at 3.4 turbo and I set it to 3.7 turbo manually, is there still room left in the tank for the power draw? Let's say I have AIO, will Ryzen increase its clock further? And this is obviously pure power and precision boost. Robert said that he's going to provide specifics on how overclocking functions during the media review process. I respond, with the inclusion of DDR4, NVMe, USB 3.1, AMD are once again on the forefront of motherboard features and technology. Judging from what the board vendors have said in public, reception to Ryzen has been pretty positive. What's your take on this? He responds, I'm pretty enthused about the quality and breadth of our motherboards coming out for the Ryzen project. All of the latest storage and I/O support has been really premium designs. Love it. I say Mark Papermaster was recently quoted as saying that Ryzen would be a 4-year architecture which would be tock. Would you agree that AMD is being extremely aggressive in pursuing performance? He responds, I don't really want to speculate on the future holds or might hold. It's not fair to us, not fair for the reality of silicon development, and not really fair for users to set expectations for what could change for a number of reasons. For now, I think Ryzen will reflect our commitment to bringing competitive, on multiple front, high-end desktop processors to the market. Next question. Does AMD feel that they've had a lot of pressure on them from Ryzen's immense exposure? He responds, Ryzen is very important to AMD and the wider market. We understand the significance, we live it every single day. I then say AMD seems to have made a big deal of SMT for Ryzen. Can you elaborate as to why AMD have been so aggressive with SMT technology? And also, AMD seems to have ramped up cache, improved branching, retire cache, load and store queues, plus several other important aspects. Does this mean that thread contention in Ryzen will be less of a problem than other competing architectures? Robert responds, what you've cited, SMT, better cache strategies, improving prediction, are to boost instruction level parallelism, ILP. ILP really means reorganizing incoming instructions into work that can be done faster in parallel. ILP is a major tentpole of the 40% plus IPC we've been promising. Almost the last question. AMD have also mentioned AM4 will likely be supported until DDR5, likely 2020, and of course, the platform will also support CPUs. Can you elaborate as why AMD have decided to stick to just one socket for this amount of time? Do you believe it's better for customers of choice or something different? He responds, I think users are pretty weary of socket merry-go-round from the competition. It seems like not a year goes by when motherboards must be thrown out for a new one that's incrementally different. AMD is historically known for providing long-term sockets, and with Ryzen will also be known for our flexibility of our socket infrastructure. 7th generation APUs, AMD Ryzen, and the future-based Raven Ridge APU will fit on into the socket AM4 platform. That will allow users to grow with the systems through many performance segments or use cases in a long span of time. One final question. There's a lot of discussion regarding the performance of the 16-thread Ryzen defeating the i7-6900K in the few official benchmarks you've shown on Handbrake, Blender, and a couple of games. this is certainly the case. Slight note that I didn't tell him, obviously we're referring to the demos shown off of New Horizon, the Doom demo, and a couple of others as well. Back to the quote. Can you give any indication whether we'll see a similar scenario across a wide group of benches and scenarios, both single and multi-threaded? Robert Hallett responds, not yet, though many users think we're being deliberately parsimonious with this type of data. The truth is that there's simply more to work on to be done before ready for the limelight. When we're ready, we will be this quarter, we will share, and just ask for a little more patience. End quote. And that's about it for the interview. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. I don't want to reveal much more, but there is a lot more coming up on the channel over the next couple of days. I have another interview coming up, can't mention more about that. I am waiting for hardware at the moment to review KB Lake, and I have a couple of other review samples that I'm negotiating with, over the next couple of days for other vendors. So, normal stuff. If you've liked the video, share it with your friends, buddies, cohorts, and, you know, comment, let me know. And I'm sure AMD will be definitely reading the comments in the video, so let me know what you think, any concerns, any questions you've got. You know, I'm sure that they can probably enjoy the feedback. But with all of that said, thank Robert and AMD very much for their time for the interview, and thank you all for the support and the viewership. It means an awful lot to us all. So, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.
So, the day is finally here. The Nintendo Switch presentation has finally happened, and will hopefully put to rest most of the rumours that have been happening over the past couple of months. Unfortunately, they did leave some things unaddressed, but I'll get to that later. Now, the first thing that they kicked off with, and I was quite appreciative of the fact that they began the presentation with this, and that's the fact that the release date is March the 3rd, 2017. Will actually be a simultaneous launch across Japan, the US, Canada and major European countries. They also, of course, told us the price tag, and it's going to be $299 in North America. Now, they didn't actually reveal the UK price during the presentation. However, on the Nintendo website, on their store, it's £279.99. Now, what's really interesting, and of course this was one of the many rumours that have been circulating about the Switch, but it was confirmed that it will not have region locking generally. What generally means, I don't know. However, that was the word that was used. Perhaps it just means that in most of the world it's not going to have any region locking, but perhaps they're just saying generally, so that, you know, if they want to do region locking in a certain area, what area that happens to be, I don't know, then they can. But generally speaking, no region locking, which is awesome news. However, of course, the other main point of contention about the Switch has been, well, what about the battery life? How long will it last? Now, they were keen to stress that, of course, it depends on the game, which is fair enough. However, they did say that it will be from 2.5 to 6.5 hours of battery. That's, of course, you know, when it's unplugged from the main AC adapter, which will, of course, be the USB-C that we all saw rumored a while ago. Also confirmed was the capacitive touch panel and also motion controls as well. However, just calling it motion controls doesn't really do it justice. It has accelerometer and gyro sensors for independent motion control of each of the Joy-Cons, and has the really interesting motion IR camera, which can detect a shape and distance of an object. In the presentation they pointed out that it can not only detect whether or not you're throwing rock, paper or scissors, but also detect how close the hand that threw it actually was. Now this could have some really interesting applications for games, of course. Would it actually be used? Well, I don't know, it sounds a bit, could potentially be a bit gimmicky, but it is a really interesting feature nonetheless. And the motion controls within the Joy-Con do seem to be much more precise than what we had previously, because they have based entire games around just having the Joy-Con in your hands, tilting it to move your character, moving your hands to attack and stuff like that. I'll get to the games later, but it does look like it could be actually really interesting. Now they also confirmed an NFC reader and writer for Amiibo, as well as the existence of that capture button that we all saw rumoured. That's the word that the users capture. They said at launch it's going to do screenshots, but at a later date it will do video as well. Will their YouTube policy be revised in preparation for that? Doubtful, but that is something that's going to happen. There is a home screen button as well, as you'd expect to use the other apps such as Netflix and so on the Switch. Now, speaking of the Joy-Con, now again, I haven't actually physically held the console in my hands or anything like that, of course not. But just from the way it was held in the presentation, the Joy-Con perhaps looks a bit small. I don't know if that's just me and my monster hands, but it looks a bit small. But again, just a minor sort of that potentially could be a bit small, but you know, I'll have to wait and see until it actually is out as to whether or not it's actually too small. We'll see. Another confirmation from one of the numerous leaks is the precise vibration that we saw ages ago now. So many of the things that were rumoured over the Nintendo Switch's sort of pre-announcement of October, and obviously after that, have actually been confirmed. Now it seems they will be doing a lot better when it comes to multiplayer, as of course it was mentioned with regards to various games, but they did say that there's going to be a smartphone app for the Switch for multiplayer, so that you can, you know, invite friends and see what your friends are playing and all that sort of stuff on your phone, and do all that via your smartphone if you so desire. I would imagine there is capability to do it via the actual console, but you know, say, oh, pick up my phone, oh, so and so's online, I'm gonna quickly just go on the app and say, hey, can you join me on this game? So it does seem that they are improving in that regard, but of course that's going to be the proof of the pudding, I suppose. But it does seem, at least, that the multiplayer aspects will be better on the Switch. Now I'm sure a lot of you are going, what about the specs? Did they tell us about the specs? No. We have some other details that we didn't know previously, but we don't know the hard specs of the machine yet, which is really disappointing, to be honest. But I'm sure we will learn before it comes out. There's directs that they can do, they can just release it, of course, but I am disappointed that the specs haven't been confirmed, and of course, this being said, we're probably going to have more leaks and rumours about that until the actual confirmation. However, we did get confirmation that the Switch device has a 6.2-inch 720p multi-touch display that will of course run at 1280 by 720 when using handheld mode. Of course, when docked, it is going to be outputting full 1080p. And Nintendo did say that it's using, as we already know, a custom Tegra processor, but they didn't tell us which one or any specs about that particular processor. Now, storage-wise is 32 gigs of onboard memory. You heard me right, 32 gigs. There are USB thumb drives with more storage space than that. That seems like nothing. And it is nothing in comparison to 500 gig and 1 terabyte PS4s and Xbox Ones. However, it can be expanded via micro SD cards. Now, as we already kind of expected and already knew, games for Switch will come on SD-like game cards, and I would imagine that a lot of these storage-based concerns will be kind of put on the shoulders of each of the individual game cards. I highly doubt we're going to be installing games on the system like we've been doing with the PS4 and Xbox One. With that limited storage space, it probably is just for save files, your capture and video, but you know, it does make me wonder how am I supposed to capture video when I have 32 gigs of space? That's like one video, if you're doing well. But again, it can be expanded, but not brilliant. However, we also learned that those rumours about no Ethernet ports are indeed true. You can, however, connect using a USB LAN adapter on the dock, and of course it will have a Wi-Fi connection as well, and can have up to 8 Switch consoles connected for local multiplayer, which is pretty cool. Lots of local multiplayer support in the first-party new titles that were revealed during the presentation. So with all that out of the way, we have the games. That was what most of the conference was actually focused around, was the games. And we have some interesting games that make use of the Joy-Con. Now this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the precision that seemed to be in play with the Joy-Con motion controls and the tilting sensors and all of that, as they have created games based upon that. For example, there's a game called 1-2 Switch, which is basically a party game. We have a collection of mini games. However, you do not need to look at a screen. There is literally no point looking at a screen. You might be going, what do you mean? How can you not look at a screen? It makes no sense. Well, basically, the trailer shows, say for example, 2 cowboys facing off in a duel where they're about to draw their pistols and shoot each other. And that's how it would be working in the actual real world. You and another person would be facing each other with the Joy-Cons, and the console will tell you when to go, and obviously whoever goes first is also going to be the winner in that regard. They showed that things like tennis and other such things, so it is literally you and another person facing each other using the Joy-Con controllers to pretend you're doing whatever the game's asking you to pretend to do, and there's literally no need for a display. Interesting. They were very much going, yeah, we wanted this to be a party and so on. Those sort of mini-game collections are pretty good for parties, but I don't know, I don't know how popular it's going to be if it's literally just 2 people standing in a room looking at each other pretending to swing swords or fire at each other. I mean, it could be fun. I don't know, it was a bit strange, but it could be interesting nonetheless. That's going to be a launch title on March the 3rd, 2017. They also showed Arms, which is a really weird looking fighting game. 1v1. It's sort of boxing as if you were that guy from One Piece where your arms can kind of stretch out and curve round. Obviously, again, this is another game where you're using the Joy-Con to register your punches, and you can tilt the Joy-Con to change the direction of your punches, and you move your character with the motions as well. So it's all, again, just based around using the Joy-Con motions to control your character and execute special moves and so on. It looks interesting. It will have both single-player, local co-op, and multiplayer, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a fighting game, and it would be a bit remiss if there was a multiplayer. It could be fun, actually. I mean, it looks simplistic, but interesting nonetheless. Again, that's a spring 2017 launch for that. No release date exact, unfortunately. However, moving on from those ones onto more traditional games, we have Splatoon 2, which was announced. The port of the Wii U version, the original announced at least. But Splatoon 2 is happening. There's going to be new weapons, and there's going to be special weapons that you can unlock after you've covered enough of the map in ink. It's going to make use of either the Joy-Con or the Pro Controller, much to the relief of most people, I would assume. And again, it's going to have similar support to the first game, where they're going to be adding maps and a ton of content after release. And of course, it's going to be online and local versus via Splatoon. Now, there isn't really much revealed about Splatoon 2. A bunch of gameplay is shown that made it look like, hey, it's more Splatoon. They did say that there's going to be more information revealed about Splatoon 2 nearer the time. This isn't going to be a launch game, unfortunately. This is going to be summer of 2017, so not even an exact release date. So I want to assume we're going to get more details of what exact weapons, maps, changes, what's different versus the first game, and all that sort of thing nearer the time. But it does exist, and it looks like it could be fun. A little bit disappointed they aren't bringing the original game over, at least as far as we know, but Splatoon 2 is still there. Now, they also showed a bunch of trailers in rapid fire without showing much information. But before I get to that, there's one last first-party title that they revealed, and it was Super Mario Odyssey. Now, this looks interesting because it's a sandbox game. Yes, they've got all sandbox with Mario as well. And it's not actually in the Mushroom Kingdom. Somehow, Mario gets in our world. And he's running around in the streets of, like, real-world cities, as well as being in fantasy-esque locations, which is Mario's thing, but in a sandbox world? Is it going to be hub-based? Is it literally just going to be, hey, you run around and you can go in certain areas, and that area there's going to be X, Y, and Z quest, or... I don't know exactly how it's going to be done, because Mario and Sandbox sounds intriguing, but I do wonder how exactly it's going to work in terms of the gameplay. Is it literally just going to be fun quests out on the map, or is it just going to be, again, hub-based? I think hub-based would suit it better, but a hub-based game isn't actually a sandbox usually. So we have to wait and see. That's going to be holiday of 2017. It's going to be quite a while before we find out more about the game. It's definitely different to previous Mario titles, which, to be honest, is exactly what Mario needs. So perhaps I should shelve my skepticism for now. Now, as I previously mentioned, they also showed a bunch of third-party titles. No real information about most of these, but we did have Xenoblade 2, Fire Emblem Warriors,
Welcome back. Rudy with Alpha Investments. Travis, you're up. Aether Revolt. Here we go. 2 boxes. We're going in. Travis says he's the luckiest guy alive. He is one of my patrons. He's got himself some $79 Aether Revolt boxes. And we're going to do this type of thing. He said he's going to get lucky, and he's going to hit like 2 lottery cards in 2 boxes. That's how he says he rolls. And, I'm not sure if I believe him. So, only time's gonna tell if this guy's really some crazy super lucky double invention card. I don't know if Travis is that lucky. We're gonna find out. He's a patron, he deserves to be lucky. He's got himself some of these awesome Aether Revolt boxes. And I'm not gonna lie, so far, like the few I've been opening of these things, like I feel like it only goes one extreme or the other. Like I feel like people either just make out crazy good value, or they just get hosed and they don't get anything good. It doesn't feel like there's a middle ground. Again, it's early, I know. Pro Tour numbers aren't in yet. Here we go. Alright. Reckless Race. Oh my god, right out of the... Who loves you, Travis? Okay, so this is the best start we've had so far. Get the box cutter out of the way. We just opened 1 pack, we're at a Mythic, we got Tezzeret right out of the gate. The good Tezzeret. Alright, I'm already super impressed. That Hornet, you can just fly your butt away. Alright, 8 from the cow, not impressed. Alright. Alright, let's see if we can keep this momentum going. You guys think we can? I'm not really sure, it's early to tell. The Refiner! That's so cool. Reminds me of something. That's it. Paradox. What the? Are you serious right now? How did we open 2 packs and have 2 mythics? That's a little suspicious. 2 packs and 2 mythics? What is going on? That's really highly improbable. Okay. Okay. I thought we had an all mythic box. Alright, Undying. I was like, we're at 2 mythics and 2. I was like, what's happening right now? This is gonna be the best video of all time. What? That is a gorgeous artwork. Oh my god. That is beautiful. I love it. What? A 3rd?
Right away.
Okay. 4 packs. Wait a minute. That's both planeswalkers. What is going on? Alright. Rikasha's expertise. That's a little weird. I'm a little... Okay. Specialist Assembler! The Senior! And, oh my god, I just said I love that artwork. Oh my god! Oh my god! That's awesome! How... This is an incredible box. Oh my god. Really? If you don't want to come out of the pack, you just say so. Holy smokes. There's no way this momentum can continue. Oath of a Johnny! I promise you. This time will be good. And a foil? I like that picture. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can keep this up. Holy smokes, this is kind of exciting for this box. And a fatal push! Look at that! $4 uncommon at the time of this filming. Not gonna stay, please sell immediately. That's that little disclaimer with an asterisk at the bottom, so you might want to sell this immediately because it's not gonna stay $4. You're gonna wish you sold it for $4. And the other best uncommon in the set. And another. That's 4 mythics. In what? Okay. Is there something going on? Maybe the pack art? Is anybody paying attention? Is the pack art matching up or something? Is something weird happening? This is a little... Okay. That's... I'm getting... Was the pack... Is there a pattern here? Are these mappable? Is something happening right now? This is getting a little suspicious. Okay. There's an Undying. That's... really bizarre that I would pull just the left part of the box and got all those mythics. It's just a little strange. Alright, the recruit. I still like that card. I know it's not worth a whole lot right now, but as they used to say in college, when you're young, you're doing real hard in school, when you're a hard worker, it's got potential. Don't you hate that word? The Admiral, the modification. I love that picture. That just seems really... I'm just a terrible person. Okay. Alright, Life the Bestiary. That's cool. No value, but alright. What is with me? Alright, Renegade, Constrictor, and Disallowed. Great rare. Absolutely great rare. Only a couple dollars. I'm surprised it's that low, but great flipping rare. Slot. How's it going? Nothing to say about that one. I'm a pretty quick packer when the pack doesn't actually fight me. Another 2 fatal pushes! Sweet! Wow, 4 mythics and 2 fatal pushes in half a box? Oh my god. Can you imagine if we did an invention at this point? You guys imagine that? That's the gremlins. Alright, Express! The Spy! And a foil common. Cool artwork. Expertise. Man, their expertise isn't making it worth anything. Foil rare. That's a good foil rare. That is a good foil rare, everybody. Wow. A plus box. The only way this box will get better is pretty much with an invention at this point. I mean, we already have 4 mythics, good rares, definitely a good rare, couple dollar rare. Never thought I'd be like, oh, couple dollar rare, it's a good one. It's kind of the world we live in with Aether Revolt. Power level high, people excitement, and no good financial value. $3 elephants. Ram it into your pocketbook, everybody. That's what you're feeling right now. Engine meat. And the Colossus. Alright, officially 2/3 of the way through the box. It's kind of quieted down from that initial opening, which was getting a little ridiculous really, really quick. There's a hair. Look at old Johnny being cool. Yeah, I'm going to save you guys. Yeah, I can save you. So, first third of this box was out of control. Now we've leveled out to more normal. Or reverse engineer the land. Hey, wait, that's another mythic. Planar Bridge. Not a, couple dollars, maybe $5, but. And the foil Swampy. Pretty sweet. Wow, 5 mythics. Wow. And a good foil there. And 2 fatal pushes. Yeah, that's not that much of a secret. Alright, that was a letdown. Alright, Specialist, Treasure Keeper, great uncommon, everybody. And, are you shitting me right now? Are you shitting me? Oh my god. A double, usually there's only 1 foil land per box. That's suspicious. A 6th mythic? Oh my god! Are you kidding? Oh my god! This is not... I am so glad this is being filmed. Because nobody would believe this. What's... Wow! 6 mythics? Oh my god! Look at that revolutionary flames, efficient, and a terrible rare. Oh my god. Oh my god. Best box ever. Oh my god. Oh my god. 6 mythics in a lottery card? Oh my god. What? Oh my god. Timmy has left the building. Yeah, Hosetown bust. All your tires just got flattened. You just left for the day. Oh my god, are you serious right now? Great rare. We just got the foil rare version of that. Oh my god. This is a wonderful whale. Whales will affect us this time around. This is the best box that'll ever be opened on this channel. Nobody watching this video is going to buy themselves a box of Aether Revolt and going to have a better pull than this. Travis, yeah, who loves you? Yeah, you can email me a hug, bro. You owe me. Yeah, for your $79 you paid for this box, you got 6 mythics and a lottery card for $79 flipping dollars from me. And great rare is the Harvester. Last pack of the box. Wow. Wow. And pirate in the air. Oh my god. That is just bananas. Oh my god. I can't even... I gotta set up for the second one. I'm like flipping like this right now. I cannot believe that box. That is... I don't even feel like we should open a second box. I feel like there's just no way we can do any better than that. There's just no way. It is physically impossible to do better than that. Alright. Oops. Hopefully not wasting too much time with you guys. Alright, here we go. Second box. You guys ready for this action? Alright. Box number 2, just for you, Travis. That was the most amazing box of all time. I don't even know why we're continuing. Like, I don't even know why we're still filming. I don't even understand why we're still going at this point. There's no real point of going. There's no point. We've already won. We've already got the gift bag at the door. We've already won the game. We've got a scrap. I mean, we've already won. I don't even, you know, Travis is watching this video going, I don't even care what's in the second box. That's pretty much our mindset right now. Because he's already a winner chicken dinner. Now, first roll of Aether Revolt. You don't talk about it. Mimic, that is a good rare, just so you guys all know. Potential for price movement on that bad boy. Great rare, love that rare. And a foil taken to custody. Again, no way this is going to be better than our first one. There's absolutely no way. The first box was so flippin' good, it skewed everyone's opinion of Aether Revolt right now. I encourage everybody to carefully consider, after watching this video, of not spending all your money at Aether Revolt, because most of the boxes I've opened have been nowhere near as good as this. It's been like this second box so far. Nothing good. The fact that first box is still out of control, I feel like people are going to be like, wow, did you see Rudy's video? I got to do Aether Revolt now. Those are cheap appliances. It's good $5. I feel like that's what people are going to think when they're watching these Aether Revolt one. And they're going to be like, oh my god, we all need to go out and spend money on this. Vote for Johnny. I promise you, you will lose money in this box. I know. Alright. The Recruit. I love that rare. I know it's not like $5 one right now. I really do like that. Potential City. Tell every kid in elementary school. Seriously. You do have potential. You think so? And... very cool. Alright, well. sorry, but second box. This is officially 1/3 of the way through with 0 mythics. And rare. And yeah, told you guys that first box was so ridiculous. There was no way it was going to be top. There was no flipping way. There's a pirate with crazy hair, and sweet looking force, and sweet looking servo. Alright, well, that's a third of the way through the box with nothing amazing to show for it. That's kind of how the game works, huh? Now everyone's like hung over. It's like you watch that first box and now you're like, oh, everything else is garbage. Actually, geez, it's a couple dollars. And a foil automaton. Great, look at that foil. Fantastic foil. We resume. The old crackdown, huh? Hey, we got the full rare. World Invention. Love the art. Not really that amazing of a card to show off. Oh, flipping defense grid. Cool. Battle of the Bridge again. Still like that. God, this box feels so dry after showing you guys that first one. Oh, we got our first mythic finally, the production. Halfway through the box, 1 mythic. Oh, come on, hit us with something good. Oh, God, with Whimper. Alright, we got the senior again. Alright, Treasure Keeper, reverse. Terrible there. Alright. Minor, you know I like the minor. Alright. Ornithopter!
It is finished.
Yeah, we got the Spire land. I do like that land. It's a great land. Alright, 1 mythic into box. And halfway through the flippin' box. Ouch. Perilous. And the Liberator as our rare. Alright, well, 2/3 of the way into the box at this point. And... come on. Hey, we have Tezzeret! That's cool. God, I can't believe it's only like $10. Why are these prices so suppressed and weak? Releasing the Gremlins. Foil common.
Tyrande versus Geralt.
Well, we're down to not too much left.
Alone gave me
I'll tell you guys
strength.
that. Hopefully my file didn't pull over. The Harvester. Good rare. Definitely like that rare. God, it's the first box. Jeez. The Bestiary. Love the artwork. That's about it. Doesn't love anything else about it. Especially your pocketbook after we open it. Alright. Engineer, Infestation, Expertise. Ooh, we got a foil. Oh. Hidden Stockpile. Okay. Not really a super amazing uncommon that we'd like to get. There's so many better uncommons I'd really like to get to foil, but nope. Dismissal, Assembler, the Raiders, and the Convention. Some more foil rooms, I believe.
You wish to live.
Alright. Dismissal again. The Giant, Destruction. Alright, there's our second mythic. Oh, this box is not nearly... First box just wrecked all of us. Oh my god, that first box. Statuary. Alright. But yeah, I caution everybody, just because if there's one crazy box you guys see on YouTube, just be very careful buying these, because most of these boxes I've opened and seen, well, they're like this box. They're not like that first one. That first box that you guys just saw on the video on this channel is not a normal box opening. I want to make that very clear to you guys. That was extremely lucky. Look at that. That is really neat. Sorry, the artwork's neat. Not really good value. We're only got 3 packs left. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Like I said, I apologize for my random rambling. Hey, you're Johnny! Okay, this box is turning. That's becoming 3 mythics now. 2 of which are planeswalkers. That's pretty good, considering besides the old flying ship there. Files. Oh no. Please hold for the next available rep. We've got some piles falling. We're good. We're back in the game. Alright, we're good. It's alright. Alright, expertise. We are down to 1 pack. Last pack. Went out with a whimper, unless we get some crazy, ridiculous enemy. Yeah, looks like we're going out with a whimper. And a rebel. And a foil mountain to end it. Alright, well, we gotta kind of go over what we did do. The first box was insane. So this box wasn't bad. We still got 4 mythics in this box. The first box was 6 mythics in a flippin' defense grid. Wow. I mean, wow. Mint condition. Perfect. Right into the sleeve we go. Well, Travis, thank you for being a patron of mine. Enjoy your $79 booster boxes. This is Ruth Alpha Investments. You guys have a fantastic day, and thank you very much for supporting this and making my dreams come true, everybody. Thank you.
Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. In one of my rant moods. So, this is kind of cathartic for me to do. To get on and rant to my YouTube viewers. Some of you may not appreciate these videos, some of you absolutely love them. Some of you even say this is the only reason you watch my channel. It's when I get in one of these moods and just want to just go off. And today is one of those days. There are a number of issues that are just incredibly bugging me right now. That yesterday I decided to blow a few of them off because I've talked about this crap in the past. Nothing changes. So, there was a comment. Every time I get a comment on an old video, a notification happens on YouTube. And I just went back and read a comment, and someone's like, "Wow, the video's a year and a half old, and nothing has changed." It was one of my rant videos after MTGO changed from its ticket system to player point system. And I went back and rewatched it, and it's just most of the things in that video are still so relevant as they were then as they are today. Just with the direction of how MTGO has really evolved, or lack of evolution of MTGO, since I did that video a year and a half. The only real thing we've got is treasures and leagues, which both of those are kind of just meh. Leagues are actually pretty good. I like the leagues because you can play at your own pace. The draft leagues are a joke in my opinion because it pits off people with different draft pools against each other, which is, why do people do that? I did one draft league and I'm like, never again. This isn't fair whatsoever. It's pretty stupid because each draft will have a different power level just based upon the cards that were in the draft pool. And so, whatever, some people may like that, sure. But the constructed leagues are actually pretty fun. I like them. I can play at my own pace. They seem to queue up pretty quickly. I can get done with the video series very fast, faster than I could do with like the 2-man queues even. And you got to progressively get better prize payout like that. But we haven't seen any changes in prize payout. In fact, there's an announcement today that prize payout, we'll go over that in a second, is actually pretty terrible with their new updates that they want to do to Magic the Gathering Online. And then we had an announcement yesterday that I'm going to talk about new directions. It's actually titled Making Moves. You might have seen this on some other YouTube channels talking about it. About Magic Digital Next, about replacing Magic Online, and about things that they want to do in the future with the entire brand of Magic the Gathering. Some I'm okay with, some I'll rant. I'll definitely rant about this. So, buckle in. This is probably going to be a long, kind of discombobulated, I can't think of the word right now, of back and forth everywhere rant about just my experience with Wizards in the last week. So, the nail in the coffin as we woke up yesterday, we were crossing our fingers because we checked on our pre-release status and it said that it was out for departure from Sacramento. Well, we live in Utah. Sometimes I order from like Amazon a ton, and from a lot of things from eBay come from California. So it's not unheard of to get a package that's out for delivery or out for shipping on the day before in Sacramento to actually show up on time the day of that you need it in Utah. So we were sweating it, but not sweating it so much because it still said it was on schedule. Now I do know that there has been some flooding in California, and there's been multiple delays with the just winter weather. So understandable with that. But this morning, we check on our package for these are our pre-release kits that we have a pre-release at our local game store, and they're still in Sacramento, have not moved. So we're probably not going to get them because things do not get shipped over the weekend. We'll probably get them to Tuesday or Wednesday is probably when we'll end up getting our pre-release kits, which means that the pre-release is now irrelevant. It means that we have to scramble and cancel it and talk to people that have pre-registered, and it's just, again, things like this happen. I've had to cancel as a coach, as a swimming coach. We've had to cancel swim meets, and it's embarrassing and it sucks, but they've been out of our control. They've been out of the pool's control. That we've one of our swim meets, for example, this water pipe broke, and then they had to shut the electrical off, and we were right in the middle of a meet, and we had to cancel the rest of it. Things happen. I understand that, but I also have worked for a shipping company in the past. That's our main thing, was to predict, redivert, and make sure that our customers, that we at least could get product to our customers as timely as possible. And this is what really irks me about Wizards of the Coast, and especially their response to me as a local game owner, that they just don't care. They don't give a crap about my pre-release being canceled. And just that I'm not going to read you word for word what their email response was, that we're like, okay, well, we're closed next Saturday. Zach and I are going to a fishing tournament. We both like to fish, so we closed down our shop next week because we wanted to go to this thing. And sometimes, like Saturdays, we're going to get back in time for the afternoon Saturday. Saturday mornings at our local game store are pretty much dead. So the few people don't get to come in and play some games, but most of our events will happen in plenty of time for us to get back from this and then open up the store and then hold the events as normal. Plus, we've already scheduled events for Saturday next week. So response back from Wizards was, tough luck, we're going to reschedule it for Saturday and Sunday. And we're like, well, can't we do it Friday? We can replace FNM. You think at least can have like a pre-release type thing on FNM? No. Under absolutely no circumstances can we do the rescheduled pre-release anything but a Saturday and a Sunday. So we're like, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to just cancel. Is there a way we can get refunded? No, you cannot get refunded for it. So this is what just pisses me off about Wizards. Maybe they're not entirely at fault for what happened with the delays, but it really irks me that something that we have to, like I as a local game store owner, have to basically commit to Wizards that we are buying into the pre-release and telling them how much we want 2 months in advance because they don't want to be inconvenienced. They don't want to be inconvenienced at all with the local game stores ordering last minute and things like that for a pre-release. So we have to commit. This is how you do anything. Any sort of like Eternal Masters that pissed us off when they did a reorder of it, because we have to come up with capital and we have to commit to buying that product way before they actually even release it. So this is something they've known. I mean, they know they've had the product, and they're just so paranoid about things getting out in the market early. I mean, it doesn't stop people. People are going to find ways to open up booster boxes early. They're going to find ways to. There's always been leaks and and things that have been spoiled early. I understand that, but I don't think it's too much to ask to ship off a product during the height of winter season in one of even historic snowstorms in the West Coast that were predicted. To get that out early and make sure that it's at the place on time. They didn't ship off the stupid packets till Tuesday. Tuesday is when they decided, oh, we better ship these packages off. And it's not just us, it's many people in the Utah area that we are not getting our pre-release kits now. And it's not all of them, which just sucks too, because, you know, that just means you lose out to your competitors. Fortunately for us, well, actually, unfortunately for our player bases, we don't really have any competitors. Let me just show you a picture of Richfield, Utah, and to show you exactly just how messed up this is. So this is Richfield. We are the only store. Hey, look, it even shows up. Gonro Games here. We are the only store within a huge radius of people to come play. So the next store is right here, up in Spanish Fork. That's the next store north. The next store south is clear down here in Cedar City. So everything else in this huge radius comes to Richfield. And we had these, we sold out of our allotment. We were disappointed because Kaladesh ended up being scheduled on kind of a weird weekend for a lot of the community. There's a lot of things going on, and so we actually had kind of a lower showing of Kaladesh than we expected. We didn't quite sell out of Kaladesh, but this one we did sell out. So we have people from all these places like Castledale and Ephraim, and even up clear up into to price that this is up here somewhere, that are coming down. They are driving down to Richfield today, taking off work to play in the pre-release, and you know, we just basically have to say tough luck. And it's literally that's what irks me the most from Wizards, is they're like, yeah, we don't care. Can you help us out here? Is there something we can do to compensate?
After a long wait, the Dragon Ball Super English dub has at last arrived on Cartoon Network and Toonami. A lot of people have been wanting to watch Dragon Ball Super in English to see, you know, how Funimation would approach it. And in the past, we've all been kind of curious about how the voices are going to be for the new characters, because Dragon Ball Super has introduced a plethora of new characters to the Dragon Ball world. And of course, we saw the return of the vast majority of the Funimation cast for this dub. Now, in the past, I've done a video where myself and Masako X have talked about the voices for Goku Black and Hit based on how they sounded in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And if you're playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and you got DLC pack number 1, you got to hear the voices for Kaba, the Universe 6 Saiyan, and Frost, the Universe 6 equivalent, or, you know, counterpart, I guess is the best way to refer to him, of Frieza. So, on this video, I'm going to be talking about Kaba and Frost's voice, and whether or not they fit, and what our opinions are of the voices. And of course, those of you in the comments, you know, definitely let us know if you like the voices. You know, after you hear the discussion, let us know what your opinion is of the voices.
Are you mocking me?
So, joining me, a man who was here before, who really needs no introduction, a very good friend of the channel, and a man who everybody should love. And if you don't love him, it should be illegal not to, because he's like the nicest guy. Please welcome the legendary Masako X. Hello.
Hey, Geekdom. How's it all going?
I'm good, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, especially about dubbing, because I don't know if there's anybody who I would rather talk to about dubbing than you. Like, maybe like Barbara Woodson.
I would say that's a fair enough comparison.
I don't know, I'm just throwing names. Or maybe,
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
I'm drawing a blank here. Well, Scott McNeil. That's another one, but, you know, the legend. But you're a legend too. Let's talk about Frost and Kaba. Now, I want to start, first of all, now, originally we heard that Kiabe was going to be his name, which is not incorrect, not really correct. In the game, we've heard his voice. He's being voiced by a man by the name of Clifford Chapin. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Prior to doing Dragon Ball, he also worked on a few video games like Folktale and Battleborn. Brand new franchise. He also did Tales of Symphonia. He is voicing Kabe. What were your initial thoughts? Because I feel that this was, and I even texted Sabbath and I go, dude, Cliff is amazing. This is a tremendous, perfect casting choice for Kabe.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I have no qualms with this cast choice whatsoever, because it's the typical anime hero voice. You know, the young go-getter attitude. I'm gonna go and win, and I'm gonna do you proud, sir. And it's like, you got that. Dragon Ball didn't really have that. Sort of with you kind of got that with Kale Bear's, you know, adult Gohan.
Right.
But this is like the pure, you know, this is what you would hear for a typical shonen hero. That voice, that desperation to please and to not back down or give up or anything like that. So you got that in Kaba, who's representing the Saiyans of Universe 6. I just think it's a great choice.
And it's funny you mentioned Kale Bear's adult Gohan, because a lot of people saw Kaba and they reminded them of Gohan, you know, very similar haircut and whatnot. And the thing about Kaba is that, from what we don't know too much about him, but we know he's definitely not a kid, and he's not a fully grown adult. He's somewhere like in the middle, like you said, like a shonen hero, maybe a teenager and whatnot. And are you surprised, Masako, that Clifford hasn't done more voices? Because I feel like this voice in particular would work out for so many video games, so many other anime. I mean, obviously the guy's just dipping his feet in the water right now, but...
He's slowly been climbing the ranks over the last couple of years. I think he was Connie Springer in Attack on Titan.
Yes, he was in Attack on Titan. That's right.
And he's an ADR. He's been an ADR director for quite a few series. He's in the new series Akiba Strip.
Yeah.
Or Akiba Strip. He's the ADR director in that. Daimi Dala and the ADR director of Keija.
Yes, and he helped write the Escaflowne script for the redub, which I haven't heard yet. I have not heard that.
Yeah. So he's working his way up through Funimation, doing ADR directing and writing as well as doing voice acting too.
Yeah, and I think he was also in One Piece. I looked at. I think I checked.
Yeah.
So,
He was.
So I'm wrong. This guy actually has a pretty good resume. I just didn't realize it until now. I feel dumb.
This is probably his most one of his most high-profile castings in this, and also the beauty of having Xenoverse around is that it's a good way to test the water. So you can't necessarily recast the guy because it'd be a bit unfair, but you can at least tweak the direction. So Mr. Sabat can go, oh yeah, okay, so we just kind of like dial that down a bit for the dub. This should be fine. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because you mentioning Kyle Aver's Gohan. You know, I think a lot of people thought that he would be doing Kaba because Gohan. I mean, I hate to say it, but the first 70-something episodes of Super, Gohan doesn't do much. So you would think that maybe Kyle Bear would get that spot. I actually think that this version is a little more young. I think it fits. I really do.
Oh yeah, of course. And obviously for Kyle, they've made up for that. They're gonna make up for that in this little mini arc coming up.
That's true. You'll have something.
Kyle is going to ham it up something drastic as, the champion of justice. Huzzah!
That's true. The Great Saiyaman movie episodes are gonna let him shine big time.
He did great in Xenoverse 2 as the Saiyaman.
Yes.
It was so cool. Question is though, where is Great Saiyaman?
She's taking care of the baby, man.
No. In this movie, I've not seen any reference to Sailwoman.
Oh, maybe they don't even. Maybe Mr. Satan knows that it's his daughter, and maybe he doesn't want her to be in the movie. Maybe they want to keep that under the rug. I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe.
I have no idea. Now let's talk about Frost. This is a little bit more controversial. In the Japanese version, we had Ryusei Nakao, the legend. I mean, this guy is a Hall of Fame voice actor if there ever was one. Little known fact for those of you who don't know, he voices Darkwing Duck in the Japanese dub, Yakko. He's like the Japanese, Rob Paulson, I guess you could say. And of course, he voices Frieza. But they brought him back to voice Frost, and I thought he did a fine job. But with the English dub, they did not choose Chris Ayres to do Frost. They instead went with baby brother Greg. And I felt like the choice of Greg Ayres was kind of Chris Sabat winking and I want to say he's winking at the community, because I'm pretty sure he made the choice. By saying, okay, we got Frieza's counterpart. Why not pick Frieza's real life counterpart? Am I making sense here?
Honestly, I think this was a brilliant idea. I think this was absolutely fantastic choice because both of the Ayres brothers they're actors. They both work for Funimation. So, and Greg Ayres sounds similar to Chris. So they could easily spend time trying to perfect the Frieza voice and then adapt it to Frost. Because essentially Ryusei Nakao's performance of Frost and Frieza were relatively similar.
Yes.
So I think what they Sabat wanted to do was try and distinguish them a little bit, because he didn't want people going like, oh, that's just a Frieza clone. So just switch it up a little bit. And the fact is, Chris Ayres, yeah, you could have got Chris Ayres to do it, fair enough. But why not get Greg? It's a cool idea.
I think it's great also because I feel like Chris Ayres is Frieza, because he captured the Japanese Frieza great, and I think that Chris Ayres, his voice is just overall more aggressive. I mean, one of the reasons why I've totally loved playing Xenoverse in English is because I absolutely love Chris Ayres so very much. I mean, just, everything he says, they call me Golden Frieza, just he's amazing. But one thing I do love, Masako, is that when you watch Dragon Ball Super, you come to find out, spoiler for those who don't know that, Frost pretends to be a good guy, but he's actually a dick. He's actually like a secret terrorist. And I like the fact that you have Greg Ayres, who sounds naturally less aggressive than his older brother, with Frost coming off more people. Because remember, the whole thing with Frost is that he is a hero in Universe 6, but the reality is he's really a terrorist. He's really a con artist, you know, a Benedict Arnold, so to speak. And Frieza was different. He was a psychopath. He was upfront about everything. He wanted to kill people. He didn't give a damn. He was all about power and you know, ruthless, you know, destruction. Ruthless, you know, just he didn't give a damn. You don't go with him, he'll kill you. But Frost was more like a manipulator, and I think that Greg Ayres, I think, fits better for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's not like Greg Ayres is no stranger to the Dragon Ball franchise. In Dragon Ball Kai, he voices Goldo.
Yeah.
So, you know, he is aware of the Dragon Ball universe. So, it's not like they got someone completely brand new in who has no clue about what Dragon Ball is. Well, that's promise to be fair if that was the case. Yeah. If you weren't active voice actor in anime and not heard about Dragon Ball, I mean, that'd be weird. But I just feel like this is a good choice. I see what they were doing, and I find it very funny. But I also think that Greg Ayres' voice for Frost is actually really good.
I do, yeah, I like it too. And it just, I mean, I am a little bummed because I want to hear more Chris Ayres. I can't get enough of that Chris Ayres Frieza voice, but that's just
Well, you
me.
are going to hear Chris Ayres. You're going to get, like, the Resurrection F after Super. That's pretty much going to be the thing that will ease the pain.
I really like Chris Ayres, dude. But I do agree, though. Greg Ayres is fine. Yeah, so let us know your thoughts. What do you think about these two voices? You can hear them in Xenoverse. You're going to hear them on Toonami soon. I'll tell you one thing, though. I've been saying this all week. They're going to be airing these episodes once a week, so we're not going to even get Universe 6 until, like, if you time it out, we got 27 weeks of movie retelling, 27, unless we take breaks. And then in July, we may get Universe 6, but I've been hearing they might break it up into seasons. So for all we know, we might not even get Universe 6 till like sometime next fall. It's very possible. And as a result of that, it could be the case where we might not even hear these voices fully until then. So maybe we're doing this a little early, but I would like to have you back later on for a dub, you know, construction. Also, when the Champa and Vados DLC comes out, and the Zamasu, I really want to. I would like to hit you back for that on the channel, Masako, so we can talk about it. I mean, dude, Sabbath. I asked Sabbath won't tell me who voiced Zamasu. He said he's like, you're not gonna believe it. I picked somebody awesome. I can't even imagine who it might be, dude. He's very confident that his dub Zamasu is really good.
Well, it'll certainly be very interesting to see.
I am too, because the Japanese Zamasu was a beast, bro, and
oh yeah. And hard to imagine that was the Japanese voice actor for James from Pokemon.
I just find it funny they have James, then they have Pikachu as the Omni King, bro. Like, what's going on here?
What are they trying to say here?
Pokemon's invading Dragon Ball. in a weird way.
Well, there are loads of Supreme Kais. They're like Pokemon. You just gotta catch them all.
That's right. And now with the new arc coming up, they're gonna have 144 new characters. That's almost as many as Pokemon, the first generation at least.
Well, there's almost 150 or more to see.
Not just right, not just that, but
to be a multiverse fighter is my destiny.
To be greater than them all. All right, well, thank you, and we'll talk to you guys later. Oh, one more thing. Check out Masako X's channel. I'll put a link in the description as always. Bad fan fiction theater is like the best thing. Also, Masako X's Dragon Ball Super breakdowns are very, very good. Maybe even better than mine, so check it out. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
(1997), 20 years ago, Dragon Ball ceased to exist, at least for a little while. Dragon Ball GT was taken off the air, and we got our final Dragon Ball game ever, which was Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, known in Japan as Dragon Ball Final Bout, no GT. The final Dragon Ball game until Budokai 1 came out just a few years later and helped revitalize the franchise. So, on this video, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Final Bout, and we're going to be giving our, I guess you could say, not so awesome video game memories. So, joining me on this video, I can't think of anybody more perfect than this to talk about Dragon Ball GT Final Bout and our memories of it. Please welcome from Battle Geek Plus and the host of Awesome Video Game Memories on Battle Geek Plus. Please welcome back Caster Troy, aka Ryan.
Hey, welcome to Not So Awesome Video Game Memories, where we actually talk about not so awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and here with me is Mr. Geekdom 101.
And it's funny because I'm calling you Caster Troy because you were still Caster Troy back then.
Yeah, I was.
That's who you were back then. And I can't think of a better person to come on here and talk to me about Final Bout because this game, all right, I want to tell because some of the younger, we have a lot of younger people who got into Dragon Ball with the dub and, with Kai even. And even when a lot of them got into Dragon Ball because of the games, dude. You know how many people I run into? I'm sure you run into them too because you do have a gaming channel called Battle Geek Plus. Everybody go check out Battle Geek Plus. If you like video games, that's what they do. They play them. And
Yep, check them out.
Right? And but these kids, right? I don't want to say kids, but the younger folks, some of them got into Dragon Ball by playing. This was other than Dragon Power. This was the first Dragon Ball game I know that was localized, that we could legally buy, except it was impossible to find.
At last.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, I was giving you the cue to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, so...
Let's talk about it, bro.
Yeah, so the first time I actually saw this game, I think it was early 1998, back when Dragon Ball Season 2 was on syndication in the US. I mean, I watched a little bit of it. I wasn't really into it back then. I actually do remember seeing Dragon Ball GT Final Bout at if you remember this place called Funko Land, which is now GameStop. I saw it in the bargain bin for like $10, and I wasn't into Dragon Ball that much back then. So I didn't pick it up. But then we all, us older folks know now, in the fall of 1998, when Dragon Ball blew up on Cartoon Network, I totally regret not picking the game up, because when Dragon Ball blew up, this game, us old people remember the price for this game shot up to like $200 on eBay.
And here's the funny thing about this game and about GT as a whole. It's so funny looking back, is that right, so when we were younger, obviously Dragon Ball was dubbed, it was very hard to find the tapes, and GT and the Buu Saga, even though GT is hated by a lot of fans, GT was the holy grail for Dragon Ball fans, in the mid to late 90s, because we knew about Z, but there's this series called GT where Luigi on the cover, and wait a minute, they're fighting a golden grade 8. What is this? And dude, and from the outside looking in, you're thinking GT's this great Dragon Ball Z continuation, and then when you actually watch it, it was a letdown for a lot of people. I think it's kind of, I'm not gonna give my opinion on the series here. I have to think about it more, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is. I think there's good points, but this game was such a holy grail. I remember seeing it at Blockbuster, and I remember renting it, and there was only there were not a lot of copies of this game, and I remember getting my hands on this game. I'm not gonna lie, I pirated the game because I had to play it. We were younger, we were all in high school, and I just remember, or middle school, I just remember this game, dude, Ryan, bro, I hate this, I don't want to trash on the game, because it's this piece of Dragon Ball lore that we should remember, but those of you out there who have only played Burst Limit and Xenoverse and Fusions, and that's your exposure to these legendarily great Dragon Ball games, this was not one of them.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, and tell us about your memories playing this game, because dude, from the minute I put this game in, everything looks cool. The intro was great, the select screen was great, the music is amazing.
Yes, agreed.
It is finished.
Yeah, so I remember, let's see, I think it was the fall of 1998. This is when Dragon Ball was blowing up on Cartoon Network. I remember, and I think I was a senior in high school at the time. I remember my friend actually had bootlegs from China of the first three Dragon Ball games on the PlayStation One, so he let me borrow them. And like Dragon Ball Final Bout was part of the was part of that group. And so, but he was all telling me, this game's not very good. I'm like, I don't care, I want to play it. So I got home, I played it. And I remember watching that animated intro, and then when